Now, the way I have to really review this anime week by week is not by the plot itself, because the plot is so simplistic, it'll be hard to really discuss it throughout every week like I do usual anime. There's not a very strong plot, but there is a very strong end game to it of what Mine wants to do with her life is to find a way to create books, to learn to read and write, to regain the skills she has from the old world and carry on to this world. So I like to really to express my gratitude for the aquaculture of things instead of how they do it. Not a lot of anime do that. It reminds me of those old art and craft shows I used to watch as a kid on PBS Kids and other channels that I did enjoy. I was, and I still am, into very big into arts and crafts, doing kind of stuff. Clay, I use knit, two different ways, um, make ornaments, puppets, all that stuff I used to do. Don't do it much, but I like to get back into it, especially after seeing my friend make this nice, awesome, giant clay statue. I'm like, okay, I gotta get back into arts and crafts because I just been just growing really. Anyways, this the thing I like about these episodes is how much they show an appreciation of the old days of hands-on making things. How they make the paper, how they make the baskets, and they have some machines every now and then to make the baskets, and sometimes you want the very specialty baskets, then yeah, they mostly make it by hands and buy ornaments from the store. And of course, they even show what you can do with different kind of things, and even unique fruits. Like, the world is very rich in culture in this show, which I said from last episode. It is very rich with how they show the world itself. Because you can't show agriculture itself in handcrafting without knowing more about the world, because she explains how you get the resources, what you do with the resources, and then how you weave them all together to create something. It's very unique within the show, especially in anime. Like I said before, with most isekais, you know so little really about the world, unless it's some ancient origins about God or demons or something. But instead of worrying so much about the God and demons, we're more invested into the entire country that she's inside of. The forests, the townsfolks, the marketing area, all that stuff. It's very in the forefront of the story, which I know it's not a lot of people's cup of tea. When I even read the comments sometimes, the videos, some people say it's boring because it's not their kind of thing. Everyone's so used to the action or the over-the-top comedy and most of these kind of things. But no, this one, it has me laughing every now and then, but not over-the-top laughing. Only because it gives me relatable things to laugh at. A jealous dad, little girl screwing up when she has this nice plan going along. Because it has relatable stuff in everyday life. And you're like, yeah, I can relate to that, laugh a little about it. So she had to give up on the papyrus paper for the ancient Egyptians because, Egyptians were known for making a lot of stuff. They were top class inventors on a lot of stuff. So, but however, even back then, it still took some time for them to finish it. So she gave up halfway and started making baskets because she used knowledge from her past life. She usually when you're a book reader and stuff, you will do have a lot of hobby when it comes to hands-on kind of stuff. Sewing, knitting, basket making, all kinds of stuff. And she seems the type of person who could do that. So her making baskets is believable. She took those kind of classes in her old life where she was taught how to make these things, like home ec and everything, where you do more than just cooking. Some high schools these days, they do home ec, it's just cooking. But I know some out there I've been to where you do more than just cooking. You make all kinds of stuff, everything. You learn the hands-on experience when you want to save some money, so having to go out there to the store. Well, you still have to go to the store to buy the crafts, but it's cheaper because you have to make it yourself. Which I still say you still find a good value, and it's also a good way to kill time. I believe if people pick up on these skills, that they'll be more happier in life. You see people on Twitter a lot, and they have nothing else better to do with their lives. They have no apparent skill or hobby, so they spend all their time just playing on Twitter or playing video games or watching anime. Nothing wrong with that, but trust me, if you have an actual structural skill in your life, you'll have more of a focus, a more of a stable kind of life where you're not distracted by irrelevant things. And it does help out a lot to have that kind of hobby. Now, what I said from last episode is how it was kind of easier to get a job back then than it is now. So in this world, when a child turns 7 and after their baptism, so I'm guessing that this world is very religious, mostly towards the Christianity part, you become an apprentice. This is apprentice to me is a more interesting way of saying intern. Most people become an intern until after they graduate from college. Like I say, it's again after they graduate from college. If you ask me, this is a bad thing. It's like the saying goes: if you teach someone early how to do something, they'll have time to grow up on that skill and master it by the time they do hit the time they have to go to college. And I believe that's one of the flaws within our American society is that we go through school, we go through college and stuff, and then we hit internship, which is apprenticeship in another word, but it's kind of too late. You're looking for a job and you're just now looking over someone's shoulder, But back then it was different, I guess because you didn't need to go to school. Now these days, everyone has to go to school, which I guess you have to get proper education, but what if you know how to do that a much better way? Question is, do you really need school to actually live out there in the real world? The society says you do, but it depends. If you can learn the basic math skills, which you do need to learn for everyday job tasks, but yet most times schools don't really teach you that skill you need until you go to college. Then you go to college and you have to spend all this money just to learn that skill, which these days you can learn that skill on your own by reading books or going online and watching YouTube videos and learning all that stuff. You learn that skill. But then, so I wish you can do that where you can just, instead of wasting your time going to college, you can just go and take the test. You'll have a written test and you'll also have the hands-on experience test to know that you really know not only what you're talking about, but you know how to do it as well. That would be more fascinating, in my opinion. Because the reason why I'm really talking about the apprenticeship, because I feel like we need something like that again. For the kids to learn how to do these skills at a young age. Because in their world, they turn 7 years old and they become apprentice. And a lot of times they'll take the job that their parents had or someone they follow has by a parental referral. And because of that, they were able I'm set. I know my skill. I know my value in life. I know what I have to do next. So they'll spend most of their days learning that skill as they grow up until they become an actual contributor of society, which is most times age 15. And when they do that, they're off. They spend their day, they get married, they have kids, and they're busy doing their work. Everyone had a purpose. Life was still struggling because they have all the conveniences, but now that we have all the conveniences, we took away the value and purpose of most human beings. Since most things can be done for us these days, we don't need to learn those skills. And since we don't need to learn those skills, people don't know what to do with themselves. I hope you followed all that, because I ain't saying it again. Probably will down later on the line, but yeah. So anyways, what I also like about this series is the catching on to how Maine acts. Maine doesn't act like she used to. See, I understand if Maine was born in that world, like reincarnation, and she would start acting like that. Okay, Maine, she was just born that way, they would say. No, Maine originally was actually just a little girl who didn't know anything about the world, who was always sick. She would act childish, but now she acts differently just one day out of the blue, where she doesn't have to do all these things on her own, and to the point where even the mom, the sister, and of course the dad were all wondering about it, like, hey, how come she knows how to do all this all of a sudden? But then again, the dad said, which I do like, is how, even though they do find suspicious, they would rather have Maine like this than her always sick all the time. Now, it would be sad if they would find out that their actual real daughter is actually dead, and the person who's main now is someone from another world. Imagine if they heard that. That would totally break their hearts and stuff, but they would still probably accept her into part of the family. I've seen stuff like this happen in real life stories and, of course, in shows as well. It happens every now and then, you know. So, anyways, it also shows winter. Winter these days in winter, what do? We still sometimes go to work, we just go to school, or sometimes people stay home. Not everyone's outside. Same was back then, but what they had to do is they were always preparing for everything. Every time it was a season, they had to prepare for the next season. So since it was winter, they had to prepare for spring and summer. They had to get their clothes out. They had to get something ready, you know, utensils, all that stuff, tools they need when spring and summer comes around. They plant the seeds again because after winter's done. They plan out their schedules and then they do it all over again. A never ending loop. So everyone's lives once again was busy. No time to complain all the time on social media. Is all I'm saying. So anyways, next May learns how to make stone tablets in the next episode. Looking forward to that anyways. I have to say that a lot of people are giving Cautious Hero a lot of credit, which it is hilarious, but this is the best isekai for me this summer. It really is, hands down, because it's so unique, and I love music, animation, and of course, the art at the end. As you've been noticing, I've been posting my thumbnails with the art at the end, because it's nice. I love the art. It's by other illustrators, giving their appreciation towards the series itself, and I like to see that. Some shows do that every now and then, and to show appreciation. So anyways, that's what I got for this. I hope you guys enjoy it, man, and you continue on watching me review this show, because it really is amazing. So anyways, if you like my content, help me out. Like, comment, subscribe, of course, hit the bell icon. This has been the Madcrownxox on Anime, signing out.